Morningless Night Sense. The Phronimo Analysis Manifesto. Phronimo analysis is a theory and therapy mixing poetics, psychoanalysis, and a critique of raciality. It is a writing cure because we navigate life through language. At the core of Phronimo analysis is the concept of the echo, the fundamental unit of both psychic and poetic reality. All human being as writing, what Phronimo analysts call form narrative, is structured by two types of echo, schemes and tropes. Schemes, echoic echoes, are repetitions at the level of sound, rhyme, alliteration, assonance, consonance, and meter in that it repeats the rhythm of a line. Tropes, echoic echoes, are repetitions at the level of meaning, metaphor, metonymy, irony, synecdoche. All echoings of meaning that twist, displace, or substitute one idea for its relative. The echo is the sound of the word, and the echoed is its meaning. The human life world, or form narrative, exists in three registers: the Anakaluthon, Whitey, and Hell, the hallucinatory echoed location, HEL. Hell is the realm of images and misrecognition, of narcissistic visual illusions of coherence, of the echoed. Whitey is Lacan's symbolic, rethought not as male, but as genderlessly white, the site of language, law, and social integration. To be inserted into this order is to participate in its white structures. Psychosis in this theory is not a failure of the paternal metaphor, but a refusal to integrate into the white symbolic. The Anakaluthon. Anakaluthon is originally a rhetorical device naming a grammatical or syntactic rupture, a break in the expected flow or structure of a sentence. It is a disruption, a failure to complete a logical or formal sequence, producing a sense of disjointedness or incoherence. In Phronimo analysis, the real is identified with the Anakaluthon. The Anakaluthon is unrepresentable, is Badiou's truth event, the moment that punches a hole in reality, reordering a situation. The Anakalutha are impossible because writing is structured, echoic. The writing can echo the Anakaluthon, however, and so alludes to a truth that cannot be written. Phronimo analysis replaces the Freudian and Lacanian Oedipus with the Lucifer phase. This morning of development begins with the child's refusal of the white symbolic. The child, like Lucifer, rebels against the authority of a racialized symbolic order, Whitey. The desire to kill Whitey becomes a desire to become the bearer of whiteness, learning to speak, act, and think in terms the white symbolic recognizes. Lucifer becomes Prince of Hell, the hallucinatory echoed location, but still plays by God's, Whitey's rules. Phronimophrenia is the human condition, a spectrum, neurotic to psychoneurotic to psychotic. Psychotic phronimophrenics are fully separated from Whitey. They do not echo symbolically and will never participate in the white order of signification. Their writing may become pure noise, morningless night sense. For example, Van Gogh, a psychotic phronimophrenic, slices his own ear, mutilating his white self and forsaking an organ whereby he would be integrated into the white symbolic. Phronimopoetic phronimophrenics are those who study or undergo phronimoanalysis. Theirs is a meta-condition brought about by a comprehension of neurosis, psychoneurosis, and psychosis. Phronimopoesis is the entire spectrum of phronimophrenia in one phronimophrenia, its healthiest genre. Phronimoanalysis posits two unconsciouses. The unconscious, an oceanic matrix of echoes, not echoes. And the collective unconscious, the racist unconscious. It contains the structure of slavery, natal alienation, general dishonor, gratuitous violence, and other hidden structures. The term hokosmos, from Greek, literally means the world, the order, or the people. In phronimoanalysis, hokosmos names the big other, the social world of whitey, and the racialized symbolic field wherein desire unfolds. Unlike traditional Lacanian psychoanalysis, where desire is structured around the lack and castration, mediated by the object pitya, phronimoanalysis posits that desire is a spiral that spirals off the page, an open vector that never closes back on itself. There is no object pitya, no castration in this model. Desire is not constrained by symbolic lack, but moves continuously within and around hokosmos, the social world of whitey. The circuit of capital and the circuit of the drive. An echoic structure. Plutos, the commercial drive fusing Eros and Thanatos. It animates texts with erotic and death-oriented, i.e. commercial, energies that determine their lucrativeness. Erotic and death-driven writing intensifies Plutos, making works more or less commercially viable. It can be understood as a circular commercial drive. Form narrative. Form narrative is the echo of space-time. The Analysan's text is an echoic form narrative. Space-time is a continuum of reference. Form narrative is a continuum of echoes. Form. Form is either inert geometric space, whitey space, or existential space, structured by Heideggerian care. Narrative is either an imposed linearity, Whitey's time, or Bergsonian durée, Heideggerian temporality, or colored people's time. Existential space and colored people's time are more anacoluthic, more consonant with truth. Form narrative is not only poetic, it is in the mind, is how we are, there, narrativizing space-time. How to phronimoanalyze. The phronimoanalytic process of interpretation, or echolocation, treats every analysand production, dream, memory, verbal slip, fantasy, or creative text, as an echoic form narrative, which is the analysand's rendering of space-time through echo. Space-time is a continuum of referents, and form narrative is a continuum of echoes. Form refers either to inert geometric space, the spatial logic of the white symbolic order, or to existential space structured by Heideggerian care, as well as to recognized genres such as the sonnet or the novel. Narrative refers either to imposed linearity, white time, or to Bergsonian durée and Heideggerian temporality, colored people's time, and also includes plot or sequence. Existential space and colored people's time are more anacoluthic, and thus more consonant with truth. Interpretation begins by identifying what form and what narrative are being echoed. It tracks repetitions of sound, rhyme, meter, dissonance, and sense, metaphor, allegory, synecdoche. To locate echoes. These echoes are interpreted as signs of the analysan's relation to the white symbolic order, conformity, repetition, internalization, and anacolutha, rupture, disjunction, failed syntax, and hell, hallucinatory images, echoes. The interpretive goal is to detect how the analysan's form narrative breaks its own form or disrupts narrative in ways that echo truth. Each form narrative is shaped by Plutos, the drive that fuses Eros and Thanatos into the commercial drive. The phronimoanalyst knows by Plutos whether the analysan's writing or speech is commercial, i.e. erotic and or death-oriented, enough to make the poet, or comedian or dreamer, anyone using words, money. Phronimoanalysis also diagrams the analysan's desire through the form narrative. Desire spirals off the page in Barthes' graph of desire from Cosmos, the big other, which in Greek means both the world order and the people. Because there is no objectivity and no castration in phronimoanalysis, desire does not circulate through lack, but spirals without closure through the form narrative's distortions of space and time. The therapist studies the play of desire in the analysan's text not merely to trace Plutos, but to hear the anacoluthic, truth-oriented distortions of desire. The goal of interpretation is not cure, but the analysan's movement from neurosis, psychoneurosis, and psychosis, the spectrum of non-phronimopoetic phronimophrenia, toward phronimopoesis, a meta-phronimophrenia. This involves the analysan recognizing their own echoes, acknowledging their distance from the anacolutha, hearing the influence of Plutos on their narrative and form, and gradually displacing psychotic, neurotic, or psychoneurotic phronimophrenia with phronimopoetic form narrative. The therapist's role is not mastery or instruction, but the co-audition of echoes and the interpretation of these space-time distortions. Phronimoanalytic echolocation interrupts imposed linearity, warps symbolic geometry, and reorients the analysan toward the anacoluthic truth. Phronimoanalysis, phronimophrenia, phronimopoesis, phronimopoetic phronimophrenia, poetic phronimophrenic neurosis, phronimophrenic, phronimoanalytic echolocation, phronimoanalysis, phronimopoesis, phronimopoetic, phronimophrenic, phronimoanalysis,